The National Assembly's extraordinary session on Wednesday commenced with the presentation of the Victims' Reparation Bill 2023 by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Dauda A. Jallow. This bill aims to establish a fund to provide reparations to victims of human rights abuses and violations that occurred between July 1994 and January 2017. 4 bills are expected to be tabled during these sessions, including the Ban from Public Office DRRC Bill, the Former President Bill, and the Commission of Inquiry Bill.
The bill seeks to establish a reparations commission whose responsibility is to review reparations paid out by the TRRC and make necessary adjustments, receive and evaluate process and make a determination as to new victims not identified by the TRRC, create and maintain an up-to-date database of victims, and developed and published guidelines and procedures for granting reparations to victims.
After the bill was presented, members of the National Assembly engaged in a heated debate regarding the certificate of urgency attached to the bill. Some argued that the time allocated for the bill was insufficient, while others debated the necessity of the certificate. This discussion triggered tension among parliamentarians.
This is deeply necessary to come up with this bill on a matter of urgency. The frustration that have been emanating from our victims, this is showing them that the executive of the day is concerned to an extent that they are taking their matter very urgently, and that is the spirit that this bill is coming.
A bill that we can't reject. We only have concerns over the bill. And because when we say victims, we must look at the definition of what a victim is or who a victim is. Is a person who is injured, is a person who is killed. In short, we are talking about casualties. We must try to know really who these victims are. Some have already said here, never again. Forget about the word never again, because it's going to happen. Aruna Jatta was shot down and killed. So there's no way we're going to say never again.
Honourable Speaker, those who voted against the bill to be treated under the certificate of urgency, they have no justification.
Government, through the Minister of Justice and all of us concerned, raise serious issues and concern, and others petition government because they are not given the opportunity to be heard during the TRRC process and the issue of compensation and reparation. There are a lot of commotion, a lot of problems, and only responsible government that needed to come up with this one. I don't see any matter of urgency that is more urgent than this one.
To address the concerns and provide further information about the bill, the Justice Minister took the podium.
The next ordinary session that you say you're going to have in a couple of weeks is usually and traditionally concentrated on the budget, the national budget. And we needed to have these bills to go through, so that is the justification from our side to go for an extraordinary session. And the certificate of urgency being used in the extraordinary session takes further the issue of the urgency that they needed to go through, and if we leave it to the regular normal legislative making process, there is no way it can be done within the time frame. And trying to abridge that time, that is why we expended more resources also to take you to a retreat, to make sure that, we go through the bill, all the bills, clause by clause, and then all concerns are taken on board.
Despite objections raised about how the bill was introduced in Parliament, Honourable Modou, the National Assembly member for Banjul North, justified the significance of the bill.
This bill is very progressive. But notwithstanding, I will also want clarity from the Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, to tell us how inclusive this bill was in terms of consultation. Because we are part of, or one of the few members that had constant engagement with the victims. And also understanding that during the 2023 budget estimate, an amount of $75 million was appropriated by this humble assembly. If the executive was very serious, understanding that is a concern for the victims to be reparated, why they didn't come with this bill during the first quarter of this year.
If passed, this bill will become a law in the Gambia, specifically focusing on providing support to the victims of former President Yahya Jammeh's atrocities during his regime. Reporting for the Fatu Network, I am Dauda Balde.